What's again, audience? It is I, Dan, here, AK4 Sky, and another video on A4 Sky Dork. Here's the big video of the month. Here we go. My top 3 favorite video games of all time. Off the bat, I'm going to get out my first two, or not my first two. I'm going to get out my 2 favorite video game franchises of all time. Actually, we'll mix a third in there because there is a third one that makes I'm gonna do 3 because there's one I've been thinking about all morning. So here we go. My number 3 favorite franchise of all time is the Star Ocean franchise. All right. So I'm not gonna dive too much into that. Because actually, you know what? I'm gonna make the special mention of one of the videos that did not make my top 3, or one of the games that did not make my top 3 list, but are part of my third favorite franchise of all time, Star Ocean Until the End of Time. I had over 200 hours in this game. Over 200 hours. One of the greatest Japanese role-playing games I ever played. Yes. So, but it did not make my top 3 favorite list of all time. So, we're on to the number 1 franchise. I do so many videos of this. This is kind of what got my page going, or this channel going, the Pokemon video games. Now, I know there's, a lot of people could see them made more for kids, but you know what? I love the nostalgia of it. I just love all the games throughout all the years since I played the first Pokemon game I ever played. Pokemon Blue back in 1998 or 1999. It might have been 99. And yes, like all the way from there, every game I made sure I played. Silver was my favorite at the time. I loved Silver way more than Blue. I loved it even more than Ruby. And Ruby, I liked a lot. That's the game that I spent the most hours on. Close to, I think, 400 hours it might have been. It's a long time. I don't spend more than 200 hours on any game that I really like. So that kind of says something. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna move on. So, oh, I actually never said my second favorite franchise. Wow. So we went third, we went first. Now we're gonna jump to the second favorite. Wow. No. Yep. Nope. I gotta keep going. So, the video, it's this laptop's been having so many issues with recording any video that I do more than like 5 minutes at a time. So here we go. We're gonna go with the second favorite franchise of all time. I know I skipped through and I said that in the other video, or the other part of the video that I recorded several days ago. Uh, it is the Final Fantasy franchise. Like, and I'm gonna make a mention of one of the games that did not make my top 3 list right now. The Final Fantasy VII game was is okay, not was. It is my favorite of the Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy 16 is starting to get there. I haven't played it long enough to fully make up my mind on it. But right now, it is definitely like my 4th favorite Final Fantasy 16. But yeah, Final Fantasy 7, I love the Advent Children movie and how they're now like redoing the whole like Final Fantasy 7 game and making it multiple games so they can include more story to it and more gameplay and all of that. I still have yet to even play the remake. I own it, but I haven't played it. So let's get going on in. That's good enough. The Final Fantasy games. And oh, Final Fantasy VII actually released around the same time as my favorite video game of all time. So it took away a lot of the attention that should have went to it. And here we go. We're gonna go in now with my top 3 favorite video games of all time. Oh, actually, no. Scratch that. Not just yet. I want to make one more mention. Skyrim is another special mission. or special mission, special mention. Skyrim is another special mention I wanted to make. When I first played it, I didn't like it as much. Another game actually on my list came out around the same time, and that game completely blew every other like that style game out of the water when I was playing it. And I tried Skyrim around the same time, and Skyrim was lacking a lot compared to that game, which I'll mention when I get to it. Though over time now, like all these years later, they fixed a lot of the stuff I've noticed in the special edition that I have that I've been playing on the PS5, and the graphics are enhanced. Like I'm thinking back at the time, why weren't the graphics this good? Why were there so many bugs in the game? And now they fixed a lot of that, and it looks a lot better. It runs smoother, and I actually really like the gameplay now. Like I would have thought I'd go from like Skyrim's not as good as everyone's claiming to like I actually like this game now. Like it's enjoyable. I can't wait to play more, you know, more of it and have more videos for everyone. So now I'm done with that. We're gonna jump in to the top three, the moment you've been waiting for. Here we go, the moment I've been waiting for, and I'm just stalling for some reason. I don't know why. No, I'm joking about the stalling thing. So here we go. My number three favorite video game of all time. Let's get that going right there. That's my intro for when I did it on my OG YouTube channel, A4Sky. But I wanted to separate the video game stuff from my, so that's more of like a skit type page or channel. So I wanted more of the nerdy stuff to have its own channel, and that's where I came up with A4Sky Dork. Many, many years after the A4Sky channel was created. So yes, it is Sword Art Online, Fatal Bullet. I loved that Gun Gale Online part of the Sword Art Online series. It was so awesome. And I was like, what if they made a game like this? And within, I want to say, less than a year of seeing that season, they came out with a game. And I was like, mind blown. And I played it, and it lived up to my expectations. Absolutely. It's just whew, I'm just gonna keep this playing over and over. Gonna have it going on loop while I'm talking about the game. And yeah, just wow, everything about it. Like it's a role playing game, Japanese role playing game, and I could run around. It kind of okay, so it's not a full open world, but there is a lot of open world elements to it, and it's has a lot of leveling for like your skills and stuff too. Like you don't just level your character, you level your abilities, you level your skills, and you increase how much each style weapon you use, how much damage it does. And you can boost it even more with abilities and stuff that you unlock the more you play as that class. And yeah, so that's yeah, so I don't talk too much about my third favorite video game of all time. Let's jump into the second. It is, I spoke about it earlier, and I know one of you on here, one of my subscribers, two of my subscribers actually, I've discussed this with both of you. You're waiting for me to start doing videos on it in November. Dragon's Dogma. Woo! Yes. Yes, yes, yes. At the time when it came out, it was my favorite video game of all time. I never played a video game like it before. I was just so like involved in it. I was like, this is like this is the one where I was saying comparing to Skyrim. This one just you can't climb up. You can't freaking climb up on monsters in Skyrim. You can't hold on to them. You can't just like hold on to them while like stabbing them with your sword or knife or any of that. You can't do that in Skyrim. You can't jump off and do a flip or any of that. You know, like that's not in Skyrim. But Dragon's Dogma has it in it. and you could ride on the monsters while they're running around. Your stamina bar runs down though, and yeah, as you see, I do have the video going. I forgot to mention. I'm like so like excited to mention the Dragon's Dogma game, and yeah, the Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is the when they released the DLC. It went from just Dragon's Dogma to being called Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, and that added so many new things. It added a fast travel system to the game. The original game did not have a fast travel system. You had to do everything on foot. So it took a lot of time, but it also like forced you to enjoy. Well, it didn't force you to enjoy it allowed you to be able to enjoy the environment and the graphics, which are twice as good as Skyrim was at the time. So the graphics are better, the gameplay was better. It wasn't just the same like three, four movements for combat. Like there was so many different like abilities you can unlock, like Scarlet Kisses, I think is what it was called. With I can't remember if it was Strider or the Assassin class. The Assassin class was my favorite. I like going around solo, and the Assassin class you can go around solo, and it powers you up, makes you like twice as powerful running solo. So yeah, that's one of the abilities of the Strider class, I believe, is Scarlet Kisses, and and like it's a bunch of jumping around. Like Skyrim didn't have that. It did not have changing up the like the combat styles and all that. It was all just the same three, four movements over and over. No, for each, depending if you're using magic or one of the regular weapons. Like it didn't add like 100 moves to a sword or 100 different moves to an axe or any of that. So yeah, so there's my second favorite of all time. As I said, it was my favorite at one point, and because I was just so drawn into the gameplay and just playing it at the time when it was fresh and new. And now, my number one favorite video game of all time. Yes, it has been going back and forth throughout time. Throughout time, this game has went from my first to my second, first to my second, first to my second, and it just continued to go from my first to my second as I played new games that I was involved in and super drawn in with. But this one remained at the top to the entire time since I first played it. The Legend of Dragoon. That's the one Final Fantasy VII left its shadow on. As good as the game as Final Fantasy VII is. This game here, like no other Japanese role playing game that I played at the time, like Final Fantasy VII did not have cinematics. There was no cinematics. It was all just the game, the video game graphics. Like this had like movie cinematics, Dragon's Dogma. Or not Dragon's Dogma, dang it. That has a dragon in it. Legend of Dragoon. Legend of Dragoon had. I really hope I did not say Dragon's Dogma in the beginning when I announced this one. Oh no. Okay, so Legend of Dragoon has cinematics with what? Audio? Audio? It was there was voices. There was voiceovers in the cinematics, so it was like watching a movie every cutscene, and it was like, what? I've never seen anything like that in a video game. Like this was at the top of its class at the time. Like no other game on the PlayStation could touch it. Like for when it came to a role playing game or a Japanese role playing game. Like and the story itself, and the opening with the song I had a dream that I could fly. I could feel each moment as time went by. Never be too far away. I will always be here. I heard you say. So I'm talking it, not singing it. I don't think I'm ready to release my singing voice in public yet. So I'm still working on it. Yeah, like Legend of Dragoon. Oh my gosh, Legend of Dragoon. just the elements and everything, just the story. It was a 4-disc game. Final Fantasy VII, I think, was a 3-disc game. This was a 4-disc game because, like, the cinematics added the extra space that it took up. But it was the cinematics were worth that extra disc. Like, whew. So yeah, that is it. I really want them to make a second one. Please make a second one. Please, Square Enix. Please make a second Dragon or Legend of Dragoon. Capcom's making a second Dragon's Dogma. Please, after all these years, make a second Legend of Dragoon. You could go before the Legend of Dragoon story. You could go with the previous wielders of the Dragoon spirits. That, my gosh, that would be awesome. Yes, I'm sure a lot of other Legend of Dragoon fans think the same thing. Like, they could do a lot with it. With the graphics of these days. Oh, mind blown just thinking about it. Like, wow. But yeah, it was so good that they even like remastered it on the PlayStation for the PS4 and PS5. They put it well, yeah, they put it in HD, and yeah. So that's all I have. I could go on for hours talking about Legend of Dragoon. I spent Okay, yeah, I never said how much time I actually spent on it. And Dragon's Dogma, I spent close to 200 hours on. Legend of Dragoon, I spent over 200 hours on, and I beat it 5 different times. Once regular playthrough, second using cheats, having everything right in the beginning, so I just annihilated everything all the way through. And yes, it actually kept my attention still, knowing that it did not ruin the game for me. And then I beat it multiple other times, trying other different ways of playing. So that's actually all I have for this video. Oh my gosh, wow. This is a really long video. Thank you everyone for watching to the end, like everyone who stayed through to see what my favorite video game of all time was. And I hope you have a nice day, morning, evening, afternoon. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if this is your first video you've ever seen of mine. And we'll see you in the next video. Boop. Make sure to, right here, watch this video. Ooh, check that video. Look at that. Look at that video. That is a wonderful video. I think you should check it out. Subscribe. You can subscribe too. Oh, for more videos? Ah, yeah. That'd be great. I'd much appreciate it.